Hey guys, I hope your weekend is going okay. Bit of a rainy day here, although the sun seems to be coming out, and I just thought I'd come in the studio and do some makeup because I've really been missing makeup and being in the studio. So yeah, I'm really hoping it won't be too much longer before I can actually go back to work. So I've got a bit of a base on already. I feel like we're kind of getting a bit closer to going out again, sitting in friends' gardens or a bit more walking, supermarket trips. So yeah, I've upped my makeup a little bit more than I was a few weeks ago, and I've got some base on at the moment. I'm really using the Perfect and Protect by Boots BB cream, which has got an SPF 50 in because it's been so hot. Literally don't feel like I can leave the house without it. So I'm using that and I'm mixing it with I've mixed it with this today, the L'Oreal Pro Glow foundation, which is lovely and kind of hydrating and dewy. And I love a dewy, hydrating finish, but one of the things I find is I need it to stay. If I'm going to put my makeup on in the morning, then I want it to last pretty much for the whole of the day. So I'm a little bit on the oily side and a little bit on the red side. So I've used the Rosalique primer as a base over my moisturiser, which I'll put in the links below. And that's great. Again, SPF 50, so I'm properly 50'd up. So I've got concealer on around the eyes and nose, and I put a little bit of eyebrow pencil in. And the next thing I would do while my skin is kind of still a little bit tacky is apply my glow powder or my bronzing powder. I love a bronzer with a glow in, so I'm using Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick and using my skunk brush, just literally working it into, and I use this to sculpt under but also just on the apples of the cheeks. And I find it works as a bronzer and as a glow powder. And also do a little bit into the temples to kind of push back the temples and sculpt the face there. I mean, maybe a little bit through the nose. And also take a bit under the jawline to just tuck that in. And maybe down the neck, because the neck is usually paler because it doesn't catch the sun. And, ideally you want to match your chest colour. So I think this is really important. Your chest wants to match your face so you look completely balanced, so hence the bronzing there. So when you're doing a foundation, obviously this is the ideal place to check, but I would always ask for a tester, especially if it's, a high-end brand that's costing maybe £40. You really need to make sure that you have worn it all day and you've put like a whole face on. Just doing a swatch on the cheek might not be enough. So that would be my tip. Obviously with cheaper foundations, you don't get that luxury. But if they are cheap, you could potentially go back, buy a second one anyway. So bronzer on, and I use my flat top multi-use brush to put the foundation on. And sometimes when I overdo the bronzer, it can seem a bit sort of overdone here. So it's still got a bit of product on. And I'd literally maybe use it just to kind of knock back the bronzer or the blusher a bit, so it looks a bit more lifted, otherwise I think it kind of brings the face in a touch. So yeah, I would do that while the skin is kind of a bit tacky, so it really clings, and then you get that lovely glow that's coming from the bronzing powder. Okay, moving on next to powder to set the foundation. And this is, I think, absolute key for making it last. So I like quite a small tapered brush. I'm just using my mini foundation brush here. I'm using the Morphe loose pink powder. And just get a fair amount on the brush. You maybe tap off the excess on your hand. And just, really pressing it under the eye so that stays. The other place I would go, taking maybe a little bit more product, is this part of the T-zone. So it can be a little bit more oily here. You still want the skin to glow, but you really want this area to stay fresh. You don't want to look kind of oily there. So I'm also taking it sides of the nose and also onto the chin. So yeah, we've still got the glow, but it's set all those areas, so they are going to stay on so much longer than if you hadn't powdered it. Okay, I'm using a Urban Decay sort of goldy brown, which I think is so nice for, it's kind of subtle, lovely for the summer. And I've just started adding this a little bit under the eye here, just for something. You know, we don't want to go too mad. It's not like we're going to the pub. So yeah, just a little bit of a goldy brown eyeliner, which I think is so flattering and suits everybody. Urban Decay do some great, this is a 24/7 liner, so these stay really well. And I think if you've powdered underneath as well, that is going to stay really well. That isn't going to be slipping. They do a great range of colours, you know, some beautiful aubergine shades if your eyes are a little bit more hazel. Loads of different colours, you know, the greens, if anyone's got green eyes, can look really good. So yeah, loving that. Loving a little pop of colour. And I would probably do a little bit of a base on the eye. This is an old Bobbi Brown cream eyeshadow, which stays. So it's one of those long wear liners, long wear shadows, sorry. And it just gives you something on the eyelid. It evens out the colour on the eyelid, kind of opens it up. And it's a cream, so it's lovely. So yeah, I'm loving that. MAC do some lovely paint pots as well. Maybe take my shadow blender brush. These are all available on my website. I do still have some left. I'm sold out of my smudger brush. Okay, and I would take a little bit of the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick. It's such a great multi-use product. And maybe just buff a little bit onto the eye. I think, and that's it. I don't think I need to do any more. And the other thing I've been wearing is brown mascara, which I love in the summer. I think brown is really pretty. I think it's really soft. I quite like a little bit of a clear mascara first. This is, I'm not sure what it is. It's from Boots, really cheap. Clear mascaras, and it's lovely for just working into the lash before you put mascara on. I find it just goes on so much better, which is great on its own, to be honest. You could just do that. Maybe run it through your eyebrows as well. And I've got a number 7 mascara. I did some work for number 7 last year, so I've got quite a bit of number 7 products left. And how nice is that? Because I feel black is a bit much at the moment. I don't feel we're into black mascara. I can imagine sales of black mascara are pretty low at the moment. Can't imagine that it's selling much full cover foundation either. Okay, so it's on, and I'm probably not going to do the bottom lashes. I think the liner's enough there. Brows are done. For lips, I really love NYX, the NYX brand. These are long wear liners, so I put it on as like a lipstick. It's literally like a lipstick. And I prefer a gloss with it. Just trying to locate some gloss. Got a little MAC gloss here, which I believe is discontinued, so I won't tell you what it is. I do love a MAC lip product. Love a Charlotte Tilbury product for the lips as well. And I've recently got into Becca for the lips. In fact, I've got a Becca lipstick here. Really creamy, really nice. Might just pop a bit. And that will stay fairly well. I may even go in with a different liner to edge. I started using a pale brown eyebrow pencil to do my lip liner with because it's so natural. It doesn't feel like it's too much colour, but I feel like my lips need a bit more of an edge. Okay, and for blush, trying to locate a blush, thought I had one out. Maybe a cream blush, Stilla. Do a lovely cream blusher. It's a little bit thicker than the, I quite often use the little tubes of Glossier paint, which are lovely. And just so fresh. Yeah, nice. And also NARS for these multiple sticks. the Multiple in Orgasm, which is a lovely highlighter shade. And it's subtle, but it's creamy, so it's not too heavy, not like a powder. And I have actually taken to this for wearing this a bit on my lips and a bit as eyeshadow for more natural. So there we go, that is it. And maybe a mist. Love a mist for really hydrating. This is Super Facialist Mist and in Rose. So I stand quite far back with this, or quite far away. You know, so you just get a very fine mist and it just hydrates the skin. And I'm looking for an SPF kind of 30 mist actually at the moment. I see Vichy's done one, which I'm tempted to try. Really nice to spray over the top, you know, so you don't have to disturb any of your makeup. And just a word to say, the Protect and Perfects are on offer at the moment. I think they're like half price. And I noticed on Brand Alley, the Terry by Terry shadow sticks have got £10 off. So these are an amazing bargain. I love the shade Bronze Moon. So I hope that helps, and a little bit of inspiration if you're going to be going to somebody's garden. Maybe not today, it does look a bit dismal, but maybe for next weekend.